All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays, coming to you live 30 minutes before the stock markets open on this November 17th, 2020. I believe November 17th is the day that Bitcoin topped back in 2013. I'm borderline guessing here. I may want to fact check that when I go to the charts. And though I could be thinking of December 17th for 2017. Anyway, this is probably the most uneventful $17,000 Bitcoin price you can possibly hope for. By the way, we're finalizing these backgrounds. I think I want to put a different chart up there. Once these cool green screen backgrounds are finalized, and there'll be others as well, different skylines and stuff. I'm going to open source these. You guys are welcome to use them. There is no copyright on this. My graphic designer won't mind. So I'll tweet these out. So keep an eye on my Twitter probably next week. And we'll hook everybody up with these backgrounds. So you're welcome to use them in your meetings. All right. Let's do it. Let's go to the charts. I'm going to be tweeting out more stuff about COVID. If you don't like it, don't read it. It's really horrible what's happening right now. And I'm not talking about the huge rise in the number of cases. I'm just talking about the way it's being portrayed, the way it's being basically they want you to die in isolation, and they want your parents to die in isolation and your grandparents to die in isolation. It's basically, I don't even think there's an agenda. I just think it's mass stupidity to just everyone die in isolation and remove freedom of movement. I don't even think it's an agenda. I just think it's just like Wall Street. I don't think there is a massive agenda. I don't think Goldman Sachs has a massive agenda. But when too many people are aligned for certain small gains, small advantageous gains in their own niches, and all of that kind of comes together and gives the impression of a giant conspiracy and agenda, when in reality it's a bunch of stuff. It's a bunch of stupidity that culminates together. So for example, the leading doctors that have told you to isolate, they can't change their mind, because if they change their mind, they would be held liable criminally, civilly. They would lose all future money from anything. So they are now in a position where they will never admit that they were wrong, ever. And it's only going to get worse. I don't believe in like conspiracy agendas, guys. But I do believe in, doing something stupid or doing something for small gain. So if these doctors are aligned with pharmaceutical companies to profit from the vaccine, they don't realize that they're like ruining the world for the next 50, 100 years, as long as they get their short-term money. And when you have a lot of them, the combination looks like a massive conspiracy. Here's what I'll tell you about Thanksgiving. I will be celebrating. Thanksgiving is probably the most important holiday in my family, and we're not even Americans. The reason Thanksgiving is so important to my family is because around November 24th, a long, long time ago, my family got on the airplane to leave the Soviet Union. So yeah, it was pre-1990. And we celebrate Thanksgiving as our personal family holiday, as the day we left the Soviet Union. So it's really irrelevant if the death rate from Corona was 40%. We're all getting together. We're all celebrating Thanksgiving, and no one's going to wear a fucking mask. And no authority is going to stop that. By the way, at no point do I deny that COVID is a real virus. It is a real virus. So is every other virus every year. And being scared and living in your house and never leaving the house is not a good way to go. What do you mean no audio? Do I not have audio? I have audio. It's on your end. I have audio. Okay. So here's one more misconception. I'm sorry, guys. I know I usually save the political talk for later. One more misconception. People think that people like myself who are anti-mask and anti-social distancing, you think people like myself are gonna purposely, and this is a huge misconception. You think people like myself purposely want to catch the virus and then walk around the streets spitting on everyone to make sure they all catch the virus. That's not, that's a misconception. But that's what a lot of people think, that if you are anti-mask and anti-social distancing and you want to get together with your family, it means you want the virus to spread. That is absolutely ridiculous, okay? I take more precautions than I did before the virus. I am a little more careful as to who I touch, who I hug, how close I come to people, shaking hands. I'm more diligent about, washing my hands. The moment I walk into someone's house, the first thing I do is I go to the bathroom and I wash my hands with soap. I didn't do that before. When you walk into a stranger's house or a friend's house. So yes, I am more careful than before, but I'm not going to alter it to the ridiculousness. You should care about COVID shit because your Bitcoin won't matter if you can't leave your house one day without a bracelet that says you've been vaccinated every 3 months. Like, I care way more about what's going on with the US election and what's going on with COVID than the price of Bitcoin. It's way more important, which is probably why Bitcoin is at 17,000 and no one gives a shit how high it is, and no one is really talking about it. I can't talk about what countries I'm moving to. I can't talk about what passports I might get. I can't talk about that, and I won't. I've already talked too much. That has unfortunately greatly fucked up my life by talking too much on this YouTube channel. I don't regret what I've talked about because, granted, me talking on this YouTube channel build a career for me. But if I was to go back and change things in my last decade of my life, it wouldn't be getting into Bitcoin earlier. I got into Bitcoin when I got into Bitcoin. I think 90% of the things I would actually change about my life is to talk less about my life on YouTube. So I will never mention what my future plans are because that would potentially fuck things up a lot. So let's look at Bitcoin. This is our weekly candle, and it's coming off as another really nice weekly start to a candle. And notice this yellow arrow. This yellow arrow indicates that it's an MRI warning on the weekly scale. And it's important. It's important to me because these MRI tops don't come around very often. The last time we had a weekly MRI top, we followed it with 1, 2, 3, 4 bearish candles, though granted the last one shouldn't really count as a bearish candle, but I will count the actual MRI candle as a bearish candle because we pulled back quite a bit at the end of that weekly candle. The prior time, we had a buy version of the MRI, and that was a crazy week. We were in Bali during this week for the financial summit, and this was just insane. Like all the gains were made in a few days, and then we continued our downturn. So very weird candle. And here are the prior 2 times we had a weekly MRI top. This one, I really expected a much bigger correction. Because it was a double MRI top. It got rejected by the resistance line. We had a reversal doji candle right before it. And while this was a pretty significant pullback off the prior week's close, it was a pullback of at one point 15% and closed at 12.5%. But I expected it to be bigger. I expected it to be 20% plus, closer to 25, maybe even 30, because this was a massive run-up. This was the really challenging one for me. I remember when this was happening, we were doing videos with Tyler Jenks. This was a bit of a conflict between my trading systems. On the one hand, my favorite time to buy an asset is the breakout of a prior swing high like this. However, the breakout was happening on the MRI 9 candle, which is usually the time for me to get out of a profitable trade. So this created a very crappy situation, and I did get out of all my trades at around here, like 5,000 to 6,000, and then I was waiting for this to go down, and then I missed a lot of this run up. I missed a lot of this run up because we never properly pulled back. And while I looked stupid short term, I certainly didn't look stupid when we crashed all the way down to 4K. So sometimes the dynamics create a weird situation. Well, let me refill my tea. And I'm not going to go back further. We're just going to stick to recent history. So right now, the weekly is still bullish. The week is only a few days in. I remain fully long in all my Bitcoin trades, but I am looking to exit. I'm looking to exit sometime later this week or next week, depending on what I see. And right now, the weekly chart is telling me to stay bullish in my trade. Here is the daily chart. Now, this is what I mean. I love buying the breakout of a prior swing high. Now, I was already in the trade, so I did not add on here because I got in at the breakout of this triangle. Of course, I wish I got in a little bit more than I did, but I did go bullish at the breakout of this triangle. And as you can see, we have fully realized the target of that triangle. Let me double check that. The target of the triangle was, say, 10%. Can we go up 10%? Right there. So there it is. So we have fully recognized the target of that triangle. Well, yeah, I have to lower that a little bit. I consider that fully realized the target of the triangle. Okay. But we just broke out. And the MRI on the daily chart still looks great. So no top yet. It's coming, probably in a couple of candles. Yeah, probably in a couple of candles. In 2 candles. So Thursday, there will probably be an MRI top. And that would be interesting because Thursday we will have a daily MRI top inside a weekly MRI warning. Now there's still room to make it to a double MRI top. And I will keep an eye on that. But Thursday might get me out. If we continue rising into 18,000 into Thursday, Friday, that becomes a great exit for me. You guys can do whatever you like. Here's the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart has just topped on the MRI. Once again, I love buying the breakout. This could have been a nice short, quick trade. Now this candle is still bullish, and this candle was bullish. Am I exiting my trade now? Market's open in 10 minutes. I'm not exiting my trade yet. I'm gonna wait for that daily MRI top on Thursday. I'm still bullish here. All my metrics are bullish. You can see the funding rate is still not as bad as it was a few days ago, favoring the bears. The CMF is still bullish. Let's go to the daily chart. The daily chart funding rate is still not that bad. So let's go to the 1-hour chart. I messaged I saw something on the 1-hour chart yesterday, so I messaged my Telegram group, which you can only get into if you have access to the MRI, which you do have to purchase. But I'm not active in that group much. So if you're getting into that group thinking that Tone calls his trades and signals, and it's a follow the leader group for trading, it's not. It's just people talking TA. So yesterday, this candle was forming. Yeah, it was this one. And yeah, one of these hourly nines. Yeah, because it couldn't have been this one because I wasn't awake. And so it had to be this one. This is a beautiful top on the 1-hour candle, MRI top with extension C top, followed by extension A top. So a beautiful like hourly candle top. Pulled us back right into an MRI buy. Wasn't an MRI buy, would have been the next candle, but it was an MRI warning. And it got us right into an MRI warning. So if you were an hourly trader, if you traded the hourly chart, this is beautiful. You know, like sell, buy, sell. 3 beautiful trades in a row. This one, if you sold here, if you sold with your profit, you did fine. If you shorted, you were up for a little while, and then you would have had to take the stop loss. And then I would have loved to buy the breakout of this blue line. I mean, on the hourly chart, you would raise it. On the hourly chart, this line would be higher. This line would be like here, which is still a good trade. And you can also see the prior 2 MRI tops on the hourly chart. And when people say this indicator is useless, I just laugh in their face because how is it useless? Here's an MRI top. Here's an MRI top. Let's just go through the last 5. This one, clearly a good call. Obviously a good call. Not a great call. Great call. Not an exactly MRI, but a warning. Good call. And another warning right now. Well, at the least, it got you out of this trade. And we'll see if what this does. But now you have an hourly MRI coming up in 30 minutes. You'll have an hourly MRI top inside the 4-hour MRI top that just took place an hour ago. But the daily and weekly are still, I shouldn't be switching this chart. But the daily and weekly are saying there's a little more room here. So I would, wait, where's my daily? So that's my 4-hour. This should be the daily. Right, that's the daily. So I'm watching the daily. And this is my daily chart, right? What am I missing here? No, this is the weekly chart. Shit. This is the weekly chart. This should be the daily chart. There we go. And this is my 4-hour chart, which I also look at from the 1-hour perspective. There you go. GBTC premium, we won't know until about 30 minutes from now what's going on there. As you guys know, I trade GBTC and for tax reasons. And I'll be looking to exit probably later this week, hopefully at a good high price. Bitcoin dominance is topping based on the MRI. So shitcoins seem to be rising. Litecoin's been rising. I'll tell you what shitcoin isn't rising. BCH, which I would love to see it hit another new low this week, but that would be difficult because last week it hit a low of 0.01313. That is 1.3% of the value of a Bitcoin. And idiots actually bought this damn thing up here at like 0.4. That's an unrealistic price. I don't take that price seriously, but right here at like 0.3, 0.4, people were actually buying it. I wish I sold it at that price, but people were actually buying it. But, you know, all the smart people sold their Bcash at 0.1 and higher. That's what all the smart people did. All the idiots either bought it or just kept holding on to it, thinking that it could succeed. And it was obvious back then that it was never going to succeed. Still obvious now, it's never going to succeed. So here you are, making a new weekly low close. So 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 4 consecutive weeks of new low closes. And it's done it before. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 consecutive weeks of low closes. And then it took a low break, and then 5 more consecutive weeks of low weekly closes. This thing is going to go, once it goes below 0.01, that's when I'm going to stop talking about it. At that point, it becomes completely irrelevant, just like the BSV. BSV is now less than 0.01, and there is zero reason to talk about it. Well, Jihan Wu was buying. Well, this is why Jihan Wu. So Bcash is how the biggest company in crypto, being Bitmain, goes bankrupt. That's what happens when you believe in the wrong Bitcoin. And I hope that's a lesson for others. All right, so I can take some questions. There was a question last time that I missed. I didn't. My moderators gave it to me, but I didn't see it. If Bitcoin is here to stay, what do you think is gold's role from 2030 and onwards? Jewelry. Gold's role is jewelry, and conductor. I mean, gold is too expensive to be a good industrial metal. As long as people like it for jewelry. That's it. That's gold's role, jewelry. Silver will continue to lose its monetary premium over time against gold, and gold will continue to lose its monetary premium over time against Bitcoin. Gold will not have a role. Gold hasn't had a role. Gold had a role pre-Bitcoin. And I don't mean pre-2009 Bitcoin. I mean pre-2020 Bitcoin. It's now becoming obvious that gold will never be money, even if the world collapses. Even if the financial system collapses, it should be obvious that gold won't be money because it's not digital, and central banks will just have a digital currency. But Bitcoin can be money. So I don't really see a role for gold unless here's an unless. So there is a monetary view of gold. but it's not a good, it's not a happy ending. It's basically if the world loses electricity. So if the world loses electricity, then Bitcoin becomes borderline useless, and gold can have a resurrection. But we are talking about a world with no electricity for decades. I don't know. 80% of the humans will probably die because we're not adapt to living in a world without electricity. You will wish for that global warming because God knows, like thousands of X more people die because of the cold than the heat, and especially in a world with no electricity. So you're gonna die from the cold. So that's not a world you want. Not to mention all the nuclear power plants we have around the world will melt down. So that's probably a 95% reduction in population. So you don't want that world. I mean, you don't want a world of no electricity for a decade. But that's like the only way for gold to come back as money. Like it won't come back as money in any other way. Yeah, you can make a generator with even from solar power, but and steam. Yeah, we have technology, but let's see. Let's see who's around who knows how to still do that without Google, to give you directions. All right. Let's see. Other questions. Hi, Tone. I'm still blocked by my usual account. Yeah, but I don't know who you are, unfortunately. Have to use an alternative. Would love to hear your thoughts on gold versus the Bitcoin price. I don't think I don't care for cross pairs. So here's what I mean by cross pairs. Where's my random chart of US stocks? Where'd it go? Maybe I closed it. All right, let's open it up. So I don't care about, speaking of useless scams. So I don't really care about XAU BTC. And here's why. It's a synthetic pair. I don't see this as relevant because they both trade against the US dollar. Like the relevant pair, I mean, if you look, you have an MRI buy coming up with extension B and C ending today. So this is pretty bullish so this is gold in Bitcoin terms. So it is calling for, gold to rise and Bitcoin to fall. But I don't care for these cross pairs. Like I care about gold versus the dollar and Bitcoin versus the dollar because they trade against the dollar. They don't trade against each other. They don't. This is back in 2016 when I was doing videos and everyone kept saying how Bitcoin trading volume in China is 10 times bigger than the dollar. So people kept trying to convince me that I should be looking at Bitcoin price versus the Chinese yuan instead of the US dollar. And I said, those people are crazy. No one gives a shit about Bitcoin in Chinese yuan. The only price that matters is Bitcoin in US dollars. Now, if the US dollar implodes, we can talk about the Bitcoin price in terms of something else. It'll probably be the euro, though I think the euro will implode before the dollar, maybe the pound, maybe the IMF will come up with its currency. Maybe we'll start looking at it in gold terms then. But right now, just like I don't look at the cross pair between, the euro and the Mexican peso, I look at the Mexican peso versus the dollar, and I look at the euro versus the dollar. I don't look at these cross pairs. I don't care what the TA is like on euro versus the Japanese yen. Euro versus Japanese yen does not move the price of the euro or the yen. It's the dollar pair that moves them. Now, you can make the argument that the cross pair of the British pound versus the euro is more relevant than euro dollar and pound dollar, and that could be a reasonable argument. But when you know for a fact that each of these individual assets in this cross pair trades against a common currency, you should be looking at them individually and not across each other. All right, next question. Oh, monthly 9 coming up. Well, let's see what the MRI says. So if you look at the monthly, you have a warning. You have an MRI warning on the monthly. Nope, that's weekly. We have an MRI warning on the weekly. Let's look at the monthly. Here's the monthly, and we have an MRI warning on a monthly. Everything is lining up for the end of this month. I mean, this Thursday is a smidge early. The MRI top is coming next month, which means it's possible for Bitcoin to top at the end of December with the weekly double MRI top inside a monthly MRI top in combination with a daily MRI top. And that would be great. But I don't think that's going to happen. And the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because I would be very surprised if we break through 20,000 in the same way we broke through 14. I was a little surprised how easily we broke 14,000 with no resistance whatsoever. And I think it's a long stretch to break 20,000 just as easy. So, and the way we're moving, the chances of us going slow and steady and grind to 20,000 over the next 6 weeks is that it just seems unlikely, but it's possible. Look, I'm watching the top. I think the top is coming. I think the top is coming this year before a 20% correction. But I am fully long, 100% long across everything because I don't see enough signs to get scared out of this trade. We're starting to get a little parabolic. We're starting to get a little bit out of hand, similar to how we got a little bit out of hand, going into 9,000, and then we still went to 14. And we got out of hand as we got into 7,000 back in 2017. We had a small step back, and then we got really out of hand into 20,000. So it's possible that we are getting out of hand into 20,000. We're going to take a small step back, like a 5% correction that I think is going to be 25, but it's going to be 5. And then we're going to have another, insane run up to 30 or 45. And then we're going to take a massive hit. So I don't know what's going to happen. But right now I have a weekly warning, a monthly warning, and a daily top, and a daily warning is going to happen tonight. It's going to be after in the evening tonight in the US, morning in Asia. So so it's toppy, but I don't know if how toppy this is. I went fully back. Oh, not fully. I went partially back in. I was pretty fully long, and I got out over on this big candle. And then I went long again. I didn't exit fully, by the way. I did not exit 100%. But then I didn't go back in the exact amount I exited. I still have some dry powder to add to my trade. However, I'm not adding here. I'm actually looking to take profit, but I want to take profit on all of it, but I want to do it at the right time. And right now, as I'm doing this video, is not the right time yet. OBV calling divergence on the 4 hour. I I don't really care for OBV on a 4-hour. I'm not a short-term trader like that. So I can look at it. OBV is not exactly my specialty, though I do teach it as part of my TA class. Do I even have OBV starred? Yeah, I do. I wouldn't call this divergence. I wouldn't call it divergence. In fact, it's not. Here's your OBV top, and I am looking at Bitstamp, not the exchange you wanted. And you can see how OBV is about to break this if we go a smidge higher. And people are buying. Like, we're consolidating near the top. Sure, OBV is not rising, but it's consolidating near the top. So I don't see a divergence there. You can look at the hourly chart, and you can see how there's no divergence here either. Clearly, it's way higher than the prior swing high. And even this high got beat. So I don't see divergence. So this consolidation on the hourly chart, and we're about 20 minutes away. This is not the kind of MRI top I'm looking to sell. This is the kind of MRI top I'm holding through. This is the kind of MRI top I'm looking to sell, because see how we kept running higher, 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 higher into the last 4 candles. We're all closing higher. That's not what's happening here. We're consolidating. Unless this candle closes up at a new hourly high, which it is right now, and then the next candle swings us to 17,300, then this becomes an MRI top I'm considering selling. But because the daily is telling me we have 2 more days of upside, and the weekly is saying we can have a week and a half of upside, I'm not ready to sell yet. I will hold through strength. I don't blindly sell because there is an MRI top somewhere. So that's why you have to learn how to use the indicator before you trade with it. If you're going to analyze anything in crypto, you really want to use an index of all of the exchanges. You can't just use one exchange when it comes to things like OBV and other stuff, because other exchanges have different volume. And I wouldn't even use OBV on a derivatives exchange because there's no actual price discovery on a derivative exchange. All right, more questions. Yeah, I'm going to share the backgrounds, guys. I announced it in the beginning of this video. We just want to get a few more backgrounds out, and I'll share them next week. I haven't looked at too many indices around the world. It's been a while. I want to look at bonds. I think interest rates are going to drop. I think bonds will still have more upside. What's the 10-year yield? I think the 10-year yield's too high. It'll probably go down. It may make new lows. They want to shut down the world again. Who the hell is going to borrow like money? Why? What are you going to do with it? Well, no. Of course, the same people that promote the climate change stupidity are the same people that are promoting all of these COVID lockdowns. Remember, the people that if you really, put these climate change people in a real debate, they have one solution to the climate change problem, which is the same solution to the COVID problem. 90% of the world needs to die, and then everyone can social distance. It's obvious. Well, like, that's the only solution. In the case of COVID, it's people will be just dying from depression. Yeah, Morgan, I got your super chat right here. Next question. I'll get to it in a second. Oh yeah, no, I agree. All these people that care so much about the climate should just move to the Amazon and live off the land. It's hard to call me anti-science. I actually have a degree in science. Tough argument. So I think yields are too high. Remember, they want to give you money for free. They want to charge you negative interest rates. They want you to spend your money. Let's go. I want to look through global indices real quick. Dow Jones. This is weekly. Let's go to daily. Dow Jones daily. Waiting for MRI. Oh, wait. I'll be waiting for MRI forever. It's not on the damn chart. Good job, Tone. Right, what am I missing? Oh, it's the wrong chart. I'm messing with the wrong chart. No wonder. So which chart is this? Oh, this is the BCAS chart. Shit, I need to leave that because I have to keep making fun of it. But which ticker was I using? Shit, I forgot which ticker I was using. Crap. Was I using? I couldn't have been using Coinbase. Bitstamp? No, it wasn't that. Shit, hold on a second, guys. I'm sorry. I need to find the ticker that I was using before for this stupid thing. BCH XBT maybe. Okay, so maybe I was using Kraken. I was probably using Kraken. So it would be BCH XBT. Yeah, I was using Kraken. There you go. Yep, there it is. Okay, so I'm messing with the wrong chart here. So I need to close this, and I need to be messing with this chart. And now let's go to indices and Dow Jones. MRI is on the chart. Unfortunately, it's a lot of code, so it takes a little time to load. Wish it was faster. Or work completely. Calculation timed out. Perfect. There it is. Bullish. I'm bullish the Dow. S&P. Looks bullish from a TA perspective, and bullish on the MRI. Bullish S&P. NASDAQ. I'm bullish. Look at this consolidation at the top. Ready for a breakout. Yes, I see a lot of these extensions ending, but if we break this high, I'm bullish the NASDAQ. Oh, wow. Small caps. Oh, these are weekly scales. Shit. Let's go to the daily. I should be looking at daily, not weekly. Bullish. Very bullish. Let's go back through them again. NDX. I'm pretty bullish, but you saw the weekly version. I really should look at both of them. Transportation. There was an MRI top. It was ignored. So I'm back to being bullish. I think the Dow had an MRI top that was also ignored on the daily. So I'm back to bullish. You take your profit on the MRI top. If it keeps going higher, you get back in. That's what trading is. Welcome to trading. And transportation, I think that one had an MRI top as well that was ignored. Everything is bullish. Hey, call it preparation for more money printing. NASDAQ transportation, there it is. MRI top, now we're bullish again. The VIX. VIX was bottoming, but looks like it's going to go lower. That was me making slides for the presentation, for the education on MRI. Neutral, no comment. Canada. See what's going on in Canada. S&P's open. Pulling back this morning, but let's see what the GBTC premium says. Still at 18%. TSX, come on. Bullish. Look, breaking all-time high, I think. Nope, not breaking all-time high. Breaking yearly high. Bullish. Had a top, ignored. Bullish. Brazil, bullish. I don't need the MRI. UK, not as bullish the UK. Huge run up. I think it exhausted. Couldn't break the prior high. I don't know what you guys are doing over there. Clearly, you're not doing it right. Maybe it's the big lockdowns. I don't know. Germany, I'm more bullish, even though they're having their ridiculous lockdowns, but the chart looks better than the UK chart. Oh, yeah, this looks pretty good. Look at that breakout of new highs. France, bullish. That's Sweden. Well, no, that's India. Sorry, India. Bullish, very bullish. Jeez, look at that. Very bullish India. This is European indices. A little better than the UK. Looks bullish. What is this? This is the Nordic stuff. Bullish. Nifty. Back to India, I guess. Bullish. Very bullish. Look at that. It could be topping, though. Like this could be, if this has an MRI top. Nope, bullish again. MRI top ignored. Korea. Bullish. I'd wait. Look at these tops. I'd wait. This could reverse. China. China don't look that good. See this consolidation? Not breaking out. I would not be very bullish China right now. More China. Well, Hong Kong. Yeah, it's pretty bullish. Japan. Look at that. Huge breakout of prior swing high. Very bullish. And finally, Australia. Coming into resistance here on Fibonacci's. If that's an MRI top, I'd stay away. Waiting to load. Nope, it's not. Back to bullish. I don't like the candle, though. Same thing here. So the other question was single stock versus the S&P. How active are you? How much are you paying attention to the stock? If you're not very active, use the S&P. If you're going to be an active trader, you can use the stock. Bitcoin rising. Yep, new highs. See, this is why I said I would not be getting out on this candle. This is the 4-hour chart. Oh, sorry, the 1 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour. We're about to flip the candle. So unless the next candle swings us into like 7.3, 7.4, this is still pretty bullish to me. That's an MRI warning candle. In 6 minutes, we're going to get an MRI top candle, but I'm not selling. Like, I'm not even logged into my trading account. Like, it's bullish. If it's bullish, I'm going to stay with the trade. There's no reason for me to sell my bullish position. The weekly is on a warning, and the daily is going to have a warning tomorrow. So I got room. It's rising. I got some room. I mean, I don't really use the MRI on, I pay attention to it on a monthly. Anything above a monthly, I don't really incorporate it in my trading, but it's not difficult to pay attention to the quarterly or 6-month or yearly MRI. I mean, you only have to look at it like once every 3 months, but I don't really incorporate it in my trading much. So the question is, like, single stock or index? It's up to you. It's up to you. In my retirement account, I'd rather hold the index. In my trading account, I'd rather trade stocks. Tesla. I mean, all stocks are rising. The government is going to print more money. And if the Democrats gets in, they're going to print more money than Trump did. That's obvious. Nope, wrong Tesla. Huge bump today. I don't know what happened. I've always been bullish Tesla. I wish I profited from being bullish Tesla, but I've always been bullish Tesla. What is this? Oh, they these are hyperwave lines. I'm just gonna delete them because Tesla split. They're just in my way now. I've always been bullish Tesla. I've always said I think Tesla will be the biggest company on the planet. Maybe not the planet, but the biggest US company. It'll be bigger than Microsoft and Google and Amazon one day, because I think 80% of the cars on the road will be Tesla. And they will be self-driving. That's a massive triangle right there. And that was a very unfortunate break of the triangle that didn't give you a good opportunity to get in. That's like a massive symmetric triangle. And you kind of want to buy it as you're breaking, not on a 10% gap up or whatever the hell that gap is. So I wouldn't be buying it today. If Tesla pulls back to 400, I'd consider it, but I'd rather hold the Bitcoin. Yeah, 12% gap, $50. Nice if you were in it. I wasn't. So, but I'm happy with my Bitcoin positions in my retirement account. Like, that's less risky to me. I understand Bitcoin better than I understand Tesla. With self-driving cars, you will not need your own car. Well, you don't really need your own car now. It doesn't matter if the car is self-driving or not. I mean, Uber can get expensive. It really depends. If it's cheaper for you to have your own car, or it's cheaper for you to rent a self-driving car. It has nothing to do with the self-driving technology. It just has to do with your own personal budget on what's cheaper. I don't like looking at other people's charts. Especially on live air. because I would be promoting people by default, and I'm trying not to do that because then somehow I'm responsible for them if they ever do anything else in the future. This is why you don't see me interview people, because I don't want to deal with the backlash if that person does something 5 years later. So the only people you see on my channel are like Jimmy Song, Willie Woo, a couple of people that I'm willing to risk if they end up doing something in the future that somehow I'm going to be held accountable for. No, same. Someone is asking, look at Tesla versus S&P 500. No. I don't do that. I look at Tesla versus the dollar and S&P versus the dollar. That's it. I don't look at cross pairs. I don't find it useful at all. I don't find cross pairs useful. People used to be like, oh, you have to look at the oil to gold ratio. No, why? Oil doesn't trade in gold. So why are you looking at it? I don't find those to be useful. If you find patterns in those charts and you want to trade them, that's up to you. I don't find those charts useful. I mean, here's your Bitcoin dominance chart. Shitcoins are rising because they're shitcoins. And, well, actually, Bitcoin's been rising, but shitcoins are starting to rise. I mean, DeFi is getting hacked left and right. So it's the DeFi projects that are going down. But shitcoins like Litecoin and Ethereum, they're starting to rise again. Exactly. I learned my lesson from with Van Zen. And people like Van Zen ruined this channel because I don't want to deal with more Van Zens. So people that come on this channel are going to be very, very limited. Other than massive streams, like, like the political stream that we did, like even Charles Hoskinson was on it. We're going to do a massive stream for like Bitcoin's birthday. I'm going to try to invite a few hundred people. And on that stream, anyone can come. But as far as like being on my stream, normally that's almost impossible now because I don't want to take responsibility for your future, because this is not an interview channel. This is supposed to be a channel with expertise. This isn't like, oh, I was just interviewing Richard Hard. I don't take a position on whether Hacks is a scam or not. Like, this channel doesn't do that. So this channel is supposed to provide expertise. So anyone that comes on the channel, I end up being held accountable for, unless it's one of those massive 100 people, anyone can log in stream. Let me see. I have no idea when the top is, obviously. Bitcoin less than 15% away from the all-time high. It's still a lot. 15% is a lot. Talk to me when it's less than 5%. 10 a.m. reversal on traditional markets. Let's find out. It's 10 a.m. Let's go to the 10-minute chart on the S&P futures. Yep, there it is. 10 a.m. reversal. Shit, missed it by a minute. 2 minutes. Missed it by 2 minutes. Crap. It's not like I was trading it. But this would have been hard. That's a hard 10 a.m. reversal. That's not the kind of candle. That's a massive, big candle. And I'm not very confident in this 10 a.m. reversal as it's happening because of the type of candle that is. Maybe the 5 a.m. would have been cleaner. 5-minute would have been cleaner. No, it wasn't. Even the 5-minute got you in trouble. This would have been, look, I'm all about the 10 a.m. reversal, but I need, and look at the 3-minute candle. Like, I'm all about the 10 a.m. reversal, but I would have been a little nervous of taking the 10 a.m. reversal trade because of how the candles look. I'm being honest with you guys. Now, if you took the 10 a.m. reversal trade at exactly 10 a.m., that is a rise of 7.5 points, which is $750 on 2 mini contracts, which is what I used to trade. And I would be getting nervous right now, and I would certainly be in a break-even stop loss, even if I didn't take the exit. If I didn't take the exit yet, could have always sold one and kept one. But the way the candles shaped out, it's hard. This is the kind of candle I want to trade at 10 a.m. Like, this is the candle. I want this to be the 950 candle, and then I'm shorting off of that candle. Now, this candle could have screwed up my trade, but this is the kind of 10 a.m. Look I want. Or this. Like here, if this was the 930 candle, and this was the 940 candle, and this was the 950 candle, that is my perfect buying opportunity right here at exactly 10 a.m., the break of that hammer's high. And this would have been a very nice profitable trade from here to here. That is 8 points on the S&P futures. Of course, I wouldn't have gotten out right at the top. Probably would have gotten out on this red candle. Either way, if I cleared 5 points on the S&P, that's a $500 gain on just two contracts in the mini futures. If I traded the big boy with one contract for 5 points, that would be so 10 points would be, so that's 5 times bigger than the S&P mini. So that would be $2,500 on a 5-point move on a single. No, I'm sorry. 120 crap. 5 points on one contract is 250, times that by 5. 5 times 250. So that's 1,500? No, $1,225 on a single SP contract. So that's how I used to trade. This would be, I mean, I would consider doing it if I was on a hot streak, or I would lower my position size. But like, there's nothing here that's telling me I should have taken the trade other than 10 a.m. I like there to be something else other than 10 a.m. to tell me to take the trade. In the last World Economic Forum, a global cyber hack was one of the main subjects. What's your thoughts on that? And if it happens, in what degree will it affect Bitcoin? Well, is the global cyber hack going to hack something Bitcoin related? If the answer is no, then Bitcoin will prove once again that it's hack proof. So this is great for Bitcoin. Bad for humans, but great for Bitcoin. Just like a communist presidency. Bad for humans, good for Bitcoin. I didn't say which presidency, just said presidents. Or prime minister. Ministership. There you go. Uh, 330 days left in the Bitcoin bull cycle. It's possible. It's possible. I haven't looked at my cycle stuff in a while. Top in October 2021. It's possible. Depends on the price. You know, if we go to 20,000 and then get stuck between 20,000 and say 17,000 for the next 6 months, there ain't no top in October 2021. We're probably breaking out in October 2021. So you can't assume that the top is going to be in October 2021. But to assume that the top is coming in October 2021, you have to assume that we keep going higher into October 2021. Because if we consolidate for the next 9 months between 20,000 and 25,000, There ain't no top in October 2021. We're going to break out and go way higher, probably into October 2022. So it's all about how you get to October 2021. Well, we don't do numbers anymore with the MRI, but oh, there's the hourly chart. See, told you, hourly top. You can see a little bit of a pullback, starting to be a reversal candle. We didn't get to my 17.3. We got to 17.250. But yeah, this is the kind of candle. If I was in a short-term trade, if I was in a trade for the last 7 to 10 hours long, I would be taking my exit because this is a reversal candle in the making, and we can pull back for 1 to 4 hours and then kick off a new wave of upside. But you are correct. So the MRI top is coming in 2 days, and the weekly, the MRI top's coming next candle, which is next week. Okay, I think that's it. I did my rants on COVID to start the video. No need to do it now. I'm going to make these backgrounds publicly available. I don't think Bitcoin is going to break 20,000 easily. We just broke 14,000 pretty easily. I didn't think it would happen, but my trading navigated it to make money, so it's fine. The market doesn't have to do what I do. Sorry, the market doesn't have to do what I say, what I tell it to do. The market does whatever it wants. You have to adjust your trading to account for it. Yeah, the globe behind me. Yeah, gotta have a bar. No matter where you are, I'm gonna have a bar. 2 of those tequilas should be recognizable. All right, guys. That's it for me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on